Having to experience unbelievable animal moments is rare and can only be shared with the help of a camera, if and when it is at the right place at the right time. Here, we've compiled some of the most shocking animal moments that you wouldn't have believed if they were not filmed. Fish bite fishermen. Hooking a huge catch means it's time to celebrate until the catch itself shows who it is.
Oh, don't move.
This fisherman had no idea that he caught the wrong fish, that even after being hooked, it didn't give up and quickly jumped out to bite its offender. Human kangaroo brawl. Orangutan asks for snacks. Feeding animals isn't just about endangering your physical security, but it rather creates a habit of expectation among the animals. A band of sisters at an orangutan exhibit in Louisville Zoo, Kentucky, found this orangutan that was asking for gummy snacks. As it kept pointing at the purse, showing no interest in any of the objects and toys that were presented, until the girl with the purse took out a bag of fruit snacks that instantly brought the orangutan satisfaction. At this point, it started asking her to unpack the snack and pass it over through a nearby fence. Be it wild or a zoo animal, feeding them leads them to a force of habit. Cobra's confidence shambled. The life-endangering venom of cobras may have given them a high status, but this man shattered the cobra's confidence in a heartbeat. Footage taken during a snake show somewhere in Pattaya, Thailand, shows how a man reacts to one of the cobras that attempts to bite him while he's choosing from dozens of pet cobras. Unlike other cobras that didn't go out of the line, this one bizarrely taunted him, only to find itself getting slapped across the face and promptly shut down. Sure, the other cobras received the word after seeing one of their own made an example of. A very happy hyena. In the wild, you see all sorts of things. They can be humiliating, hilarious, or downright relatable. This hyena couple was captured in a very sensitive situation, and just when onlookers decided to leave, the tender moment ended abruptly. Well, that was quite unexpected, but I bet the hyenas don't feel that way. Tiger escape tackled. A slightest mistake and things could have gone in the wrong direction. But guess what? The tiger met its match when it pounced on the doctor. Jokes aside, this guy really deserves applause for how he dealt with the tiger when it escaped the enclosure. Where an ordinary man would have lost his senses, the guy surprisingly did the opposite and saved several lives. Wild bears feeding enclosure. Turning the impossible into reality, this man right here is sitting among more than 90 bears! And trust me, I'm not exaggerating. It started a few years back when one hungry bear came into this man's backyard, so he fed it. Since then, there's been no going back. Now it's become a yearly thing for the people who come there to visit while the volunteer feeds the hungry bears. Real-life Timon and Pumbaa. Turning their fictional friendship to a real-life partnership, meerkat and warthog were spotted in the wild exhibiting a rare sight. The warthog was rescued when it was just a baby, while the meerkat had been living there for quite some time. But when spotted together, it felt like the two had no worries and would remain best buddies for the rest of their lives. Man brushing bear teeth. The bear-human interactions can never come to an end. This time, a man can be seen cleaning a bear's teeth. Yes, a man brushes wild jaws. Surprisingly, the bear doesn't mind it at all and allows him to clean. Bonding with mother orangutan. If there was one man who could blindly connect with every animal, it was Steve Irwin. And while he's no longer with us, there are many wholesome moments that prove he truly was an animal whisperer. Here's a cute moment when the croc hunter encounters a female orangutan with her baby. and the whole scene plays out adorably.
I just like to kiss her on the lips.
The mother orangutan seems to trust Steve because he gets close enough to pet her, and even the baby. Grieving tiger. Only associating their actions with hunger, we sometimes forget that animals have other emotions too, just like this tigress who is grieving for her lost mate. Tracked by conservationists, the tigress alerted them all when she called for her mate for 3 days and he did not respond. So they began the search. Following his tracks, they at last found the lost tiger. Sadly, he had met his fate. But she doesn't know this and continues to search for another 3 days before she finally stops. Gator that snuck in. Either this gator is a fast learner and snuck in for an easy meal, or maybe it wanted to be adopted just as any cat or dog. In June 2023, a Louisiana family discovered this 5-foot-long alligator that was found in the hallway, and it instantly terrified the residents. The gator managed to enter their house by sneaking through the doggy door and was snooping around until it was found and later removed by the Fish and Wildlife Department after they'd been called in. Ceiling with snake collapses. From what I know, snakes prefer to live in the wild. Now, I don't know since when they've developed a thing for the ceilings, but here we go. A man contacted the authorities when he spotted a massive snake's head peeking out from the roof, but things twisted when the team tried to grab its caudal. How they all get there remains a mystery, but just imagining them all living inside a house gives me chills. Before we move any further, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you can keep watching our amazing content. Deer tricks hunter. Of all the animals from the wild, deer are the most deceitful, tricking animals and now even humans. They have now begun to show their true selves. A man came across a wounded deer. Well, that's what he assumed of the vicious animals laying on the ground, because right when he decided to rescue it, it sprung out and ran towards the woods.
Holy shit!
I'm not sure, but I think the deer mistook the man as a hunter and played a little trick to deceive him. Sea lion steals fish. They're called sea lions for a reason, because being the scavengers just like them, the seals would not care for anything if it ends up with them winning a meal, taking it from fishermen, stealing a meal from the boats, and sometimes even clinging to boats to get some. They have overcome every hurdle to get their gizzards filled with food. Fish surround diver. Including the diver and their incredible defense strategy, these fish have formed a spherical ball around him. Actually, it's a bait ball, considered as a last defense measure by the fish to protect them from a threatening predator. They create the sphere and hide behind each other to appear bigger than their actual size. Well, in most cases the scheme works, and it really does protect them from whales, just like here. Adorable groundhog eating. You have got to see this tiny burglar a man captured in his garden. The guy was worried to see a lot of his veggies munched by some unknown animal. He installed a camera, and that's when he spotted the thief. It was a groundhog who came 3 times in a day and would taste the vegetables. Even long fences were unable to guard the garden from the small invader. So, what did the guy do? He gave up, and now the groundhog is a daily visitor. Pet bat. Bats have always got an eerie vibe associated with them. Well, let me change that notion for you guys, as this right here is a pet bat. It had survived in the wild for more than 30 years before the vet took him in and brought the wounded survivor to the facility. Unable to fly due to several diseases it had developed in the jungles, the bat is still young and healthy, which makes it the favorite of them all. Napping shark. If you think searching for prey is an easy task deep in the ocean, then you've got to see this lemon shark. Who is? Well, she's sleeping. Not like humans though, but whenever tired, these sharks take long rest hours. Again, doesn't mean that they're unconscious. They can still defend themselves quite well. But this diver managed to capture the incredible sight of the lemon shark relaxing on his camera. Jealous chipmunk. This lady randomly discovered a chipmunk, and within a few weeks, they had become best buddies. Charlie is the name of this adorable rodent who visits the girl's backyard daily. At first, it was just the food he was coming to get, but gradually, the two developed a friendly relationship. It knows its name, it knows when to freeze, and now, Charlie even gets jealous of other chipmunks. An embarrassing defeat. This is what happens when you don't contemplate the outcomes. Things took a hilarious turn during a tussle between the two kangaroos. Now, I don't know what started the fight in the first place, but seeing the results, I think it was something rather serious. The kangaroo standing opposite to the fence shoved its opponent quite hard. It broke the fence and, well, you already know what happened in the end. Gorilla adopts man. This man has now become a gorilla baby. All he did was to step inside the enclosure. Since then, the mother has not let her son go. Okay, let me tell you the facts now. It's not like they've adopted a human, but gorillas are generally kind towards people. From a 3-year-old child that was saved to this man who the gorilla treats as one of their own. It all shows that they share human-like emotions. Stingray stabbing attempt. This guy was trying to do a nice thing, but apparently the stingray has had enough of humans. A man captured these threatening scenes on an American beach. His friend was helping a ray return into the ocean when it wiggled its tail.
Careful.
Watch the barb, watch the barb.
Oh my.
It intended to bite the man. Not just once, but the ray tried its luck twice on the man. Well, what else can you expect from an animal that's been stranded for a long time? Gator jumps into boat. Maybe the gator just wanted to say hi, and the tourists got it all wrong.
At your feet.
Oh my God! Oh God!
Because if not, that single tap on the head would have been the end of this man. Look how it placed the snout for some time and smoothly went back into the water with a gentle pat. I mean, how could it mean any harm? And this alligator right here? Okay, I won't lie, its intentions were quite clear. The gator wanted to get a piece of the man filming him, but luckily the guy realized its objective on time and was saved from a brutal end. Whale surprises kayaker. Either he did not know what he's dealing with, or... Okay, I seriously don't get how he's all smiles, because the gigantic creature would have easily knocked this guy over. But surprisingly, not really terrified of the massive whale breaching right ahead of its kayak, this man managed to film the entire moment on his camera. Alligator bends metal fence. You'd think a gator is pretty terrifying on its own, right? But what would you do if these massive reptiles had superpowers? Yup, that's right. This chunky fellow was seen trotting somewhere, and what he did was so shocking, you'd think he was trained by Splinter. Take a look. Not only did this alligator separate metal bars, to make matters worse, the reptile was loose. Yikes! I wouldn't want to see this alligator later for sure. Man saves best friend. Dogs and beaches make a very friendly duo, so it's not unusual to bring your best friend out on a walk along the shore. This Arizonian man was playing fetch with his 3 dogs when things took a horrible turn. The dogs were running to grab the stick, but one of them accidentally inhaled a lot of water. The poor doggo was struggling to reach the shore, and thankfully, the man realized there was a problem. Not wasting a single minute, the man set off to the dog's rescue. Lion's warm welcome. Now this is scary and amazing at the same time. watching a big cat jumping into the vehicle, walking to everyone, and shoving its face into the people. It seems as if this lion wants to taste each of them, but in reality, it was just cuddling.
Скажи, кто не хочет, может выйти. О, дяде повезло.
These visitors might not be expecting such a warm welcome from the mighty king. Literally a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Bear stops by convenience store. This is the last type of visitor that any convenience store would want to see stopping by. A cashier at the 7-Eleven store in Olympic Valley, California, was left dismayed when this huge brown bear entered the store and started looking around, moments before it began helping itself to candy bars. Initially, he was left surprised as the door opened and he didn't see anyone enter, until he noticed the bear that left him terrified and also concerned for the damages it would cause. The recorder cited that the bear was much bigger in person than it looked in the video, and that the video was not doing it justice. Shark leaps on boat. Just when you start thinking it's gonna be a cool day at the beach, something literally unexpected happens. This guy, while fishing, must be thinking to get a huge catch, when suddenly a large mako shark leaped out of nowhere, landing directly on the front of the boat and becoming trapped. Thankfully, it remained unharmed and was shortly thereafter freed. Fair trade with orangutan. Zookeepers strictly advise you not to feed the animals in the enclosure. But what do you do when the animal feeds you? This hilarious encounter was captured between a man and an orangutan. The man decided to bless the ape with a few treats, carefully tossing them into the enclosure. While the visitor was simply hoping to make the orangutan's day, it seems the orangutan wanted to return the favor. The intelligent creature scoped the area for watchers, and then carefully tossed back a treat, clearly showing its appreciation. Remove cat before flight. Not just for technical defects, but pilots must do a thorough inspection for dozing cats too. It was moments after takeoff that the pilot noticed a cat sitting over the plane's left wing, but there was nothing he could do, as a slight movement would have scared the cat. So they held back, while the cat enjoyed its free trip into the skies, and thankfully the cat safely returned to the land. Surprising hippo. The animal kingdom has no rules, but if there's one that even tames the lions, it's that you don't enter a hippo's territory. Hippos are highly protective of their homes, and they'll crush anyone in the way, even if they're just there for a sip. So when I say these boys were extremely lucky the hippo decided to let them go, you'd better believe me. And it seems the boys were well aware of this, because they quickly got out of the water the minute they were spotted. Hungry seal. Here, this man was just trying to warn the sea lion, but the sea lion had other plans, as it wanted to devour the fish alone. Not even wanting to share with its fella, shuddering the fish all around and notifying everyone to stay away. Surfing dogs. Amazingly footed on the surfboard, these dogs represent some serious surfing skills. They were captured performing these incredible tasks off the coast of Sydney, but what seems unusual to us is quite ordinary in the dog's world, as they are specially trained for this purpose. Well, even though they're trained, the teamwork is still inspiring to me. Snake disturbs hammock nap. Nothing can beat this frightening encounter. This woman had an uninvited guest in her house while she was soothing her baby to sleep. Slowly creeping into the house, the snake came there for a meal. Luckily, the woman spotted it on time and failed its mission. But just imagine what would have happened if the lady had not spotted the slithering danger. Leap towards its end. When I say that a small jump is all it takes to knock out an elk, you've gotta believe me on that one. Because this is exactly what made this elk lose its life. A guy filmed this strange incident while he was waiting for the elk herd to cross the highway. While the reason behind its sudden passing remains a mystery, the struggle shows it all. the elk accidentally embedded its antlers on the ground, and the struggle to free them ended with its life. Killer whale strikes boat. Turning human interactions to dramatic fights of survival, orcas have leveled up the game. They stalk boats and execute their destructive plans by utilizing the perfect opportunity. This pod of orca have already become the reason for sinking of 3 boats in Spain. Here it was, another one. They began the attack by smashing their heads against it. Luckily, that was all they intended to do this time, as after a few bangs, they left without causing any more harm. Whale blows a rainbow. These majesties of the ocean have got all that's required to shock people. This time, it was a gray whale which chose to surprise the tourists. The curious whale appeared on the shallows. After some time of lingering next to the boat, she did this incredible blowout, which left a colorful band. It happens due to the warmer breath and the contrasting pressure of the air above. These 2 factors condense the water vapors and form a rainbow out of the normal blow. Rescue fox steals a camera. Before I get into any details, just listen to the adorable laughs of the fox recorded on camera. Well, I think this pretty much explains everything I wanted to say. A woman was interrupted while she was recording the video when her pet fox stole her phone and ran away with it. It scuttled half a mile before finally giving up and returning the stolen item to its owner. Lion misses gazelle by an inch. The epic stunt this gazelle would perform in the end is what intrigues me the most. It requires some nerves to ditch a lion in his kingdom, and the gazelle did it quite well. It was a normal day for the swift deer when a lion set its eyes on her, but she was already plotting something. Just when he made a high leap to get the gazelle, it tricked the lion. And the rest is history. This picture was taken on October 26, 2016, showing a brief moment of a huge great white shark that surfaced after it caught bait lured in by the blood left by fishermen off the coast of Mexico. Since the incident occurred during a dive tour, they deployed a cage to capture the underwater view. With the shark in a rage, it started attacking the cage aggressively until it boxed in the cage. Once the shark was in the cage, it attempted to break free and started struggling violently until it made its way out of the cage.
He's in the cage. He's in the cage. Oh my God.
Moments later, one of the divers who was left behind emerged unharmed, leaving everyone shocked. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again. Shark vending machine. Using a tiny boat to explore shark-infested areas is like asking for trouble. Andy Casagrande and Jeff Kerr are 2 shark experts that were conducting a routine shark activity monitoring until a pod of giant great whites surrounded the boat and began shaking it. The sharks were attempting to shake the boat just enough to flip it upside down to attack its occupants, in a way just as if their sandwich was stuck in a vending machine. Since it was tied and secured to a bigger boat, they were left at the mercy of how long the ropes could last, especially when the sharks were biting and attacking it. Gorilla breaks zoo glass. A few more pounds and that glass would have fallen. An interesting incident occurred at a zoo in Nebraska in 2016, where a gorilla came charging and struck the glass barrier hard enough that it cracked. Now, this incident paints a horrifying picture of how fragile the glass barrier is, as opposed to how strong it's perceived to be.
Oh, man.
Gorillas, along with most species of monkeys and apes, tend to have intelligence far superior than most animals. This actually would and could turn into a nightmare if the gorilla senses an opportunity or even shatters the glass unintentionally. With it having strength far superior to most men, the result would be devastating. Shark steals camera. This shark was so sick and tired of running into human baits just so that they would have a good look at it that it decided to steal the camera of the curious prankster. A group of divers that were planning to capture snapshots of what it looks like within the shark's jaws used animal blood to draw it out towards them. As the shark approached, they used a camera attached to a bait, which, upon the shark biting, would enable them in taking pictures.
1, 2, 3, let go!
The shark, as a result, moved away along with the camera, except that the shark snatched away the camera, and the divers were forced to make a dangerous decision to get it back. Intimidating bear. Fear, terror, or horror. All these words might not be enough to describe the incident that happened on the roads of Russia. A bear broke loose from a nearby zoo and rushed towards the road where this man was standing. Well, the fact that it didn't run after spotting the bear in the first place still troubles me. But then he paid for his strange act as the grizzly chased it through the highway. Luckily, it was captured soon after the authorities were informed and did not cause any harm. Lioness peekaboos. Looks like peekaboo was a thing even among the lions. A family of tourists were caught in a shock of surprise while checking out a pride of lions in a reserve somewhere in South Africa. As the tourist family was enjoying the company of the lion pride, one of the lionesses managed to open the car door out of curiosity with no visible struggle.
I know. You're supposed to lock.
Along with body language that it was actually playing peekaboo and got carried away. After all, lions are fast learners just like cats. Alpha male stops wild animal. You might think the old days of displaying sheer alpha male energy to impede an imminent attack would be obsolete given this day and age, but it certainly is still quite effective. This viral recording was captured in April 2023, where a man, upon spotting a wild moose charging onto his lady, resorted to yelling at the top of his lungs. By using his loud male vocal energy, he managed to deter the wild animal from charging any further while holding a pitchfork pointed at it just in case. The recording fascinated viewers and started to get widespread traction.